first day.
double, right? Double, double, double,
Oh, so like
double, right? For the next 5 days, okay? They're doubling the previous day. So 5 more days. And when you add that all up, what do you get?
128.
I didn't get 128. What? This is 40 plus 20, 63. Yeah. So if you're a instant gratification, I need the money right now, go ahead and take the $60. But if you want more money, let it double. All right. 1, 2. Guys, I am doing this in my Algebra 2 class right now. That's how important it is that you figure it out, because it is the thing that gives people trouble for years to come. PEMDAS. Have you heard of PEMDAS?
Yes.
Order of operations. Yes. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we get there, let's talk a little bit about powers. So in this setup, this whole thing, which is why the bracket here, that whole thing is called a power. I think a lot of times people call the exponent the power, which I get it. Like I will do that at times. I'll say to the power of 3, right? 2 to the power of 3. So represents exponents. The bottom, the bigger number, anyone know what it's called?
Denominator.
Not the denominator, but that would be if it's a fraction. It is a whole number. It's called your base. Okay, so the base of your power is the 2. And then what's the 3 called? The exponent. Okay, and here's how powers work. 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay, so powers, you're going to be doing a lot with that. Get your calculator out. Tell me, maybe tell me without your calculator on this first one if you know. 10 to the 7th power is what?
700.
No.
10 million.
10 million. It's 10 million. 10 to the 7th power has 7 zeros behind a 1. Okay. So you end up with 10 million on that. Do you know how to plug that into your calculator?
Yes.
Do you know the little caret button? On your calculator, you're going to type in 10, and then you're going to find the little button that looks like that. We call it a caret. Okay, it's like an arrow pointing up, kind of. And then you're going to hit 7, because that's your exponent. So that is 10 to the 7th power, and you should get 10 million from that. Did you get it? Okay. So plug into your calculator 0.2 to the 5th power. Did you say 3.2? No.
0.00032.
Right. Yes. Which one? Okay, so you're gonna type in right now the decimal point. So clear it out. Decimal point 2. And then there's this caret button. It's on the kind of middle right side. Okay, and then hit a 5. And then enter. Yes. Okay, now let me show you something really cool that your calculator will do. Leave that 0.00032 on your screen right now. Are you there?
Nope.
If you're not, type it in again. 0.2. Oh, you guys, look at this. Real or fake?
Real.
It's fake.
Yeah, that's fake.
My husband works for a company that works with a lot of like high-end stuff, and they make fake plants that look super real, and they're beautiful. My husband won a cornhole tournament yesterday, and this was his prize. He was like, "Here, 2 to the 5th, okay? Do you have 0.00032 on your calculator screen right now? If you don't, get it there. Plug in.
Oh, you did 10 to, and then nothing. Type in 0.2. And then the caret. Oh, I said the wrong side. It's on your left side. And then 5.
Okay, so with that on your screen right now, I'm going to show you something life-changing. Your calculator will turn things into fractions for you. Do you know how to do it?
You push the fraction button.
Okay, there's a button that says PRB, stands for probability. But look at the second of that, right? The blue above it says F to D. It also does D to F. So you go second, PRB, and then you hit enter. Oh, what?
Yeah, mine didn't work.
Mine didn't work either.
Well, shoot. I thought that worked on this calculator.
I put 0.25 and I did it and it turned it into.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't like that fraction. Maybe that's not a nice fraction. I guess there's not a big fraction for that. Okay, clear your calculator. Do this, 0.25, and hit enter so that it says 0.25 on your screen. Okay, now go second, and then that PRB button, and hit enter. And it tells you what the fraction is. That's 1/4. Okay? So if you need to go back and forth between fractions and decimals, that's your button. Okay. C. Oh, I forgot I'm recording this. Should have paused. What's 3 to the 4th? 81. Good. What's 2/3 to the 3rd? Okay. So here's how you can do this. You have options. If you want to do it as one thing, what do you suppose you need? Parentheses. So go parentheses, and then you can do 2 divided by 3, or you know that fraction button right here? This is your fraction button. It looks like this on your calculator. A, B over C. Do you see that button? Yep. Okay. You may use that, or you may use the division, 2 divided by 3. So 2 fraction 3 parentheses. Take that with the parentheses to the 3rd power. And it should give you a fraction, 8/27. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you multiply
I just did
2 times.
So you're going to type, sorry, what? Yes, you can do it individually. You can say 2 to the 3rd power is 8. 3 to the 3rd power is 27, totally. If you want to plug it in as one shot, okay, here it is. You type the parenthesis button this way, then you hit 2, then you hit the fraction key, or divided by is fine also. Then you hit 3, then you hit the button that's this parenthesis, then you hit the caret, and then you hit a 3 again.
The first time I did it, I didn't put parentheses and I still got 8/27.
With 2/3?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
the
but you
first
use
time
the
I did it.
fraction button.
Yeah. I
Yes.
did.
So if you're going to use the fraction button, it's going to assume it as a fraction. If you use the division bar, you have to put parentheses around it. Division symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, what's 0.5 to the 3rd power?
0.1.
Yes. Okay. Order of operations. This is PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And my dear stays together and Aunt Sally stays together, okay? So parentheses are either going to be this. Brackets are usually this, but sometimes you'll even see these as brackets. And a fraction bar is the one that goes this way. So you'll have like 2x plus 4, a fraction bar, and 9, right? That's this. That's your fraction bar. It's division, but it's not a division sign. It's the bar. All 3 of those things we treat as grouping symbols, as parentheses, if you will. You always have to work inside those grouping symbols first, Okay, so parentheses, whether it's a fraction bar, whether it's parentheses, or whether it's brackets, P parentheses always comes first, okay? And I'll explain that with the fraction bar eventually. We'll get there. So here are your things. Parentheses first, then you do the exponents. That's these guys, okay? Then you multiply and divide, but left to right, okay? And that gets done wrong a lot, thank you. So just make sure when you're multiplying and dividing, if that's the only thing left in a problem, you are starting at the left side and working straight across to the right. Don't go to the right because addition was at the right and subtraction was at the left. So you go, oh, I'm going to do the right side first. Sorry, your right side's over here. Left to right, okay? Same with addition and subtraction. Okay, so let's try this out. In this setup, if we are thinking PEMDAS, and I'm just going to go like that to show you MD goes together, AS goes together. Do you have parentheses in letter A? Yes, so that's what you do first. What is inside the parentheses? So this is 17 minus 5 squared divided by what? 5. Okay, so we took care of our parentheses. Are there any other parentheses in this problem? No, so we're done with that. Are there exponents in this problem?
Yeah.
Yes, so we go there next. 17 minus what? 25 divided by 5, okay? This next step is what got done wrong on the practice test, the pre-assessment. What's your next step? You divide, okay? A lot of you subtracted and then divided, okay? We have to multiply and divide first. So 17 minus what? 25 divided by 5 is 5, okay? So then our last step is to do that subtraction and you get 12, okay? Go over to B and try that one. Remember PEMDAS, parentheses, then the exponent, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. And don't just plug it in your calculator.
Okay.
You can plug things in as you go, but I want to see each step. So like on your homework, you guys, I want to see what you did along the way,
I was just
okay?
doing the one part.
Gotcha. That's totally fine. Not trying to call you out there. Show me your steps. What'd you get?
16.
16, 32, 8, 28, 32, 16. Okay, let's try it out. What'd you do first? Parentheses, 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4 to the third power divided by 2. What do you do next? The exponent, 64. 4 to the third is 64. Plug it into your calculator. I don't need you to know that off the top of your head. 4 to the third is 64. Divided by 2, which is 32. That should have been your answer. Okay? All right, moving right along. Letter C. Okay, now here's where the division bar comes into play and can sometimes cause a little bit of drama. What should be the first thing you do on this problem? The exponent, okay? Start with the exponent. Anyone know what 2 to the 4th power is? It's 16. So 16 minus 1 divided by 5. Okay, here's where the drama comes in. There is subtraction in this problem, and there is division in this problem. Which one typically comes first? Division, not when there's a division bar. If it was the division sign, yes, you would divide first, and then you would subtract. But we said the division bar acts like parentheses. In other words, it's like we're doing this. So you have to simplify the numerator, you have to simplify the denominator, and then you divide, okay? Whenever you see a division bar. So 16 minus 1 is 15 over 5, and that equals what? 3. Does that make sense? Okay. Why don't you try letter D? And if you finish D, move on to E. Is our time 11 today? Let me get back in this schedule. Yes, 11. Who has a number for D? Okay, just a couple more seconds and then we'll see what we're getting. All right. Gwen, did you get a number for D? Not yet. Joaquin, what'd you get? D. 27. Anybody else get 27? Okay, that's good. That's what it is. So what's the first thing you did? Right, the exponent first. Now here's the deal, guys. Is that a hand? I thought that was a hand because you got 27. Do you have a question? Okay. Technically right now, I am totally fine with you saying this is 35 because it doesn't impact, like that would be the next thing you do and it doesn't change the 4 squared, right? So if you want to call that 35 minus 16 divided by 2 and do those first 2 steps at the same time, it's fine. The only reason I let you do that is because they don't impact each other. If they did, then you wouldn't, okay? So you're welcome to do that if you want. What's your next step? Divide, yeah. So 35 minus 8, and that is 27. Bravo. Okay, last one of these. What is your first step on this one? The exponent. 3 to the 4th power. Oh, that's flipped here. 3 to the 4th is 81. Okay, you can plug that into your calculator or go 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 4 plus 81 over 7 minus 2. What are you going to do next? We're going to add, right? We're going to do parentheses on top, parentheses on bottom. So 85 divided by 5. Then plug that into your calculator or do it in your head or do long division. 85 divided by 5 is 17. Good. All right, last few here. So this is simplifying when they've given you all the numbers, but sometimes they don't give you all the numbers so nicely laid out and you'll have to drop them in. Please just take your time with that because often the mistakes that happen on these next problems are silly. They're mistakes that happen because you just rushed and wrote something down wrong, okay? Take a look here. It says evaluate. Whenever it says evaluate, you should come up with a number answer, okay? X equals 5 and Y equals 2. So we're going to drop in our 5s for our X's. Our Y's are going to be a 2. So let's start by just dropping those in without simplifying a thing, okay? See if you can write that down. Does it look like that? 5 squared plus 5 minus 12 divided by 2 to the 2nd power. Now, honestly, my preference, not because you need it on this problem, but because you will need it on other problems, I would love it if every time you square something, you put parentheses around the number. Like I said, it doesn't impact this problem, but what if that number's a negative? Then you got to put the parentheses around it before you plug it into your calculator, or your calculator thinks you have a negative number in the end, okay? So be really careful with that, and I can show you more of those later. What do you do first on these?
Exponents.
The exponent. So it's 25 plus 5 minus 12 divided by what? 4. What do you do next? 12 divided by 4. 25 plus 5 minus 3. What if you treated that like a negative 12 divided by 4? That's negative 3, which is going to present itself as either plus a negative 3 or minus 3, right? So it's the same thing, whether you think of it as a negative 12 or a positive 12 right now. As long as that minus sign stays with it, you're good. Okay, what do you do here? Add 5. You go left to right, right? The only thing left is plus and minus. You're going to work your way from left to right. So you're going to go 25 plus 5 is 30, and then you're going to subtract 3 and get 27. Did you get 27?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, letter B. If you plug those numbers in, it looks like that. Think PEMDAS. What do you do first? 5 times 2. You're going to multiply first because it's what's in parentheses, right? Parentheses first means this is 10 squared. What is that? 100. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to mix things up a minute here. Okay? On this problem, I want you to say x is 5, and I want you to say y is negative 2. Sorry if you worked ahead. I should have told you that. I just, on a whim, decided to give you a negative here. See if you can work that out. X is 5, y is negative 2. What'd you get? Negative 20. Negative 4. 20. 100. Okay, a lot of different answers, right? Okay, listen. This is how it happens. We get a lot of different answers because we don't follow all the rules. Let's think through the rules here. This is 5 times a negative 2 squared. What is squared right now? Only the negative 2. Do not multiply them first, right? You exponent before you multiply. So negative 2 squared is what?
2.
Positive 4. Here's the deal. If you type into your calculator this, your calculator tells you it's negative 4. It's not. This is negative 2 times negative 2, which is a positive 4. So please, 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 please put parentheses around it if you're going to plug it into your calculator. What? But did you put parentheses around it? You didn't? You did negative 4 squared and it told you positive?
Mine came out negative.
Yeah. Negative 2 squared.
Your calculator was confused last time. That's what's going to show up. By the way, do you know there's a squared button on here so you don't have to do the caret with squared? The squared is right below the caret. So if you're squaring something, you could just press that button. I don't know. That's just the name of it. I know, but that's what they call it, a caret. I don't know. Okay, so simplify this. Negative 2 squared is 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Who got 20? Good job. All right, last one, and then you'll have about 5 minutes. The real world stuff tends to be the stuff that gives people a little more trouble because there's lots of words involved and charts and just isn't maybe quite as favorable for some. It says, what is an expression for the spending money you have left after depositing? Is depositing gaining money or losing money?
It's putting
putting money in, right? Your money is increasing. You're depositing more money into your account. 2/5 of your wages into your savings account. You should do this. Save your money. Actually invest your money. That's where you're going to make some good money. It says, evaluate the expression for weekly wages of $40, $50, $75, and $100. So if your wages are W, and we want to put 2/5 of that into the bank, what is going to go here? What's our general expression? What? No. 2/5. What? Of 40. How do you write 2/5 of something in math? Yes. So you're going to go 2/5 times whatever those wages are, right? So that means right here. Oh, guys, I read that wrong. You're totally right, Mr. Hartle, with the dub. 3/5. My bad. We're trying to deposit 2/5, which means we have 3/5 of our wages. I didn't read that. We're looking for our spending money. We're not looking for the money that's in the bank. So we're looking what we're left with. Do you want a Jolly Rancher for that? You need a Jolly Rancher for that. Ooh, got it? Okay. That's why we read the directions. You're going to take them off my hands for me? Yeah, no. You may have one left. Sorry. Does that make sense? So if 2/5 of it is going into the bank, I should have read the question a little more carefully. They're not asking how much will be in the bank. They're asking how much do you have left for spending money. So you have 3/5 left for spending money, right? Okay. So we're going to go 3/5 times 40. Plug that into your calculator to make sure you know how to plug that into your calculator. What do you get?
24.
It is $24. Okay. 3/5 of 50. Plug that into your calculator.
30.
You get 30. 3/5 of 75. You should get 45. And 3/5 of 100. You have $60 to spend. Okay? But it all stems from this. If you can come up with the general expression, then it's just a matter of dropping that number in each time, right? So take your time coming up with the expression, read the directions, not like I did, and you'll be good to go. Any questions on any of that? Any questions on how you plug 3/5 times 40 into your calculator? Because I know sometimes the issue is the calculator more than the brain. Okay, that's it.